Good morning, my name is Emily Benton. I'm going to be looking at learning about sustainability in junior English. I hope you enjoy. One of the most pressing curriculum problems we are facing in secondary English is the marginalisation of the cross-curriculum priority of sustainability. Despite sustainability being formally embedded in the Australian curriculum, in practice it is often treated as an add-on. The English curriculum in particular prioritises traditional literacy outcomes at the expense of deeper engagement with ecological and ethical issues. This is resulting in missed opportunities to critically explore sustainability through a humanistic and future-oriented lens. As Matthewson explains, there is no settled place for sustainability education within the main curriculum. She draws on Snook 2007, who argues that the dominance of entrepreneurial and consumer values has led to a curriculum where the ethical and ecological dimensions of text are completely marginalised. This disconnection between critical literacy and real-world sustainability issues reflects a wider systematic problem. Even though sustainability is officially recognised as a cross-curriculum priority in the Australian curriculum, it's not part of the core strands. That means it's often left to individual teacher interpretation, which leads to major inconsistencies. Some teachers make it a rich part of their classroom, while others skip it altogether, not out of laziness, but due to time, assessment pressures, or a lack of clarity on how to integrate it meaningfully. Another major root cause is market-driven priorities in education. The English curriculum in particular has been shaped by this kind of economic rationalism, where we prioritise literacy skills, employability, and measurable outcomes over more transformative goals like ecological consciousness. As Snook explains, education is increasingly treated as an economic investment, and in that framing, sustainability often doesn't make the cut. There's also the historical and cultural positioning of English to consider. English has often been feminised, seen as this soft subject, and therefore less likely to be positioned as a space for rigorous world-shaping knowledge like sustainability. This perception reinforces the idea that deeper critical engagement with global or ecological issues belongs in science or geography and not in the English classroom. Finally, students really rarely get the actual opportunity to apply an eco-critical lens to media. This could be helping them question how environmental issues are framed, whose voices are amplified or silenced, and what kind of future is being imagined. As Matthewman and Nixon both argue, this is a lost opportunity to develop students' ecological literacy through texts they already engage with. This pattern creates a curriculum blind spot where sustainability is technically present but functionally invisible, and that invisibility has a real impact on learners. To truly be engaging students, curriculum needs to be meeting them where they are. Today's adolescents are socially aware, they're media savvy, they're ready for complex thinking, but when sustainability is delivered as this token gesture in the classroom, they completely switch off. Teenagers in particular benefit from place-based contextualized learning that connects directly with the communities that they are living in. First Nations students have a fundamental right to see Indigenous knowledge systems centred, not as cultural enrichment, but as core parts in sustainability education. When we're marginalising these knowledges, we are marginalising our students. As Elam et al. Argue, climate education needs to be creative, it needs to be inquiry-driven and participatory. Our current curriculum simply doesn't go far enough. In order to address this issue, I propose a project-based learning unit that is adapted from PBL Works' original resource, What in the World. This unit pushes students to investigate both global environmental reporting and local ecological issues. They'll be critically comparing media narratives from around the world, then bringing it home by researching a local sustainability concern. From there, they're going to script and produce a teen-focused podcast that analyses the issue, critiques media framing, and offers their own informed voice. This approach is not only engaging and creative, it also aligns with curriculum outcomes for Year 9, while genuinely embedding the cross-curriculum priority of sustainability. More importantly, it supports learner needs by making learning relevant and place-based, developing critical media literacy, and empowering students as communicators and agents of change. This project-based learning innovation does rely quite strongly on support from key stakeholders in order to succeed. Looking at school leadership and contributing the time for planning, investing in professional development, and endorsing this cross-curricular initiative. But I think they need to care about this because it aligns with school priorities around sustainability, literacy, and student engagement, and it really fosters that authentic community partnership. English department staff also play a critical role through collaborative planning and shared delivery of the unit. They benefit by building their skills in teaching, media, and critical literacy, refreshing the curriculum and supporting diverse learners with creative, engaging approaches. This innovation offers multiple opportunities. It supports student wellbeing and agency, which, as Ojala 2015 explains, helps students process climate anxiety by building hope and trust. It also opens up cross-curriculum connections. It strengthens community engagement. And finally, it has a really strong curriculum alignment. There are, of course, some constraints that we do face. So institutional barriers are a big one. Time constraints can be really difficult to deal with workload and fixed timetables. Emotional labor of teaching such an anxiety-driven topic. Assessment pressure, it can be seen as at risk of being non-academic in a way. And then finally, that students might not feel that place-based work is universally accessible. Not all students feel safe or connected to local places, and we need to be critical about which stories are included or excluded. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful rest of your day.